and go to the next game.
He's also doing well with black.
Yep.
So the perception of, draw with black, win with white, doesn't need that.
And here we go. We motored through the beginning of this game. This is some opening theory that both players are very familiar with. Now we have potentially bishop to f4 coming, also bishop g5, and a potential endgame on the horizon. Bishop h4. Okay, so bishop takes f6 is another way to play, doubling the pawns there. And it's actually going to be very similar to the game we just saw in terms of bishop and knight against the two bishops.
But it is well-known territory, so maybe Hikaru's choosing to keep more pieces on the board, keep things, try to challenge Denis, think on his own.
Yep, you can always play bishop takes f6, for example, right now. But no, he's choosing a different path, trade the dark squared bishops instead. And like you said, just keep more pieces on the board, keep the game going.
But it is a very standard position, and so far Denis handles those very well. At some point, black wants to play c5, gain some space.
Yeah, and white often reacts with the move like c4.
Ooh, bishop
here.
h4 is asking for knight e4 in some positions. Okay, maybe not here, but...
Yeah, because it's not pinned. Bishop h4 doesn't pin the knight, so the knight's free to jump into e4. In this case, now that would no longer be good. The queen has just jumped into the d file directly where white's rook on d1 is staring.
This is a bit easier to play for white because of that isolated pawn, but black is very active. So anybody's game, expect to see bishop g3 at some point because you're not trading your dark squared bishop for that knight on f6, unless it's very good.
No, the only way to consider that is if you win the d-pawn. And in this case, not possible. So I like bishop g3. If you trade, you own the d4 square. But a5, here comes the counterplay with a4.
Hikaru's willing to trade queens. If bishop g3, queen g3, you double your pawns, but it means you blockade that d-pawn, that isolated d-pawn. It can be a bit of a push. Look to see g4 played sometimes.
Yep.
Move a little forward. a3 to stop rook b4. Expect that king to walk through to e3. Centralizing.
Yeah, king f2, king e3. Here comes the outside pass pawn. b4, b5. Black is looking to bring the king into the middle, but for the moment, knight f5 is really frustrating.
Yeah, expect to see g6, walk the king over to d6 if you're Lazavik.
Yep, he's got the blockade, rook a6. There's also rook b8 in that position. It may be time to bring that king, and meanwhile, the bishop is covering knight c6.
Definitely prefer white here, but Denis holds these pretty well.
Yep,
king f8.
King f8. King f6 can also be played. I thought that was a bit
asking
risky.
This is asking for trouble in bullet.
Yep. Very difficult to react to. Knight takes h6.
He's giving up a pawn, but the knight will take a while to come back into the game. And knight c4. Now b5 is loose.
Very active way to defend things.
This is frustrating for Hikaru. He's got to make a move.
You can take that pawn. Instead, knight f6 hitting
Bishop
d5.
b5. Other tactics here. Knight d2 doesn't quite work. Denis decides to retreat.
Now, it looks like there will be a lot of trades here, keeping the rook on the board, but how are the winning chances? The double pawns are not ideal. This is bullet. Anything is possible here. You can absolutely
Especially
win
the
this
knights
position.
on the board.
Yep.
You're looking for forks, and Hikaru wants to use his experience to his advantage.
Yeah.
Oh, he allowed the knights to be traded, and we heard a noise from Hikaru. Not happy. It makes black's job much easier.
That's right. And we have to remember, I'm curious to see how Denis is going to handle these moments.
Hikaru's very unhappy with that knight exchange.